Hey, I think we did it. Yes. All right.
Success.
Woohoo. Here
Well
we
done.
are. What a day. I don't know how your day was, but I've been looking forward to starting this call for a while because I've got 2 beers on my desk that are staring at me right now. And
Oh, good.
oh man, do they need to be opened. Welcome to Talking Heads, everyone. Episode 407, sponsored by Meter. More about them later in the video. Your once-week live show for the latest in beer and tech news. I'm Jeff.
I'm Rett.
Thank you all so much for watching on this Wednesday night or in podcast form over on Spotify or wherever your favorite podcasts are found. If you've never seen the show before, we talk beer, we talk tech, we talk games, pop culture, entertainment. Sometimes some Star Trek, although we've changed the background recently. Let's see. I've been working on the new intro, and I reverted back to the old one just now, and so I've lost the plot entirely, but we'll get back on track here. Let's see. All super chats are on the air, so long as they will not permanently demonetize the channel. We do drink alcohol in the show, and if you're drinking along with us, alcoholic or not, let us know in the chat, and we'll give some early show shoutouts as we go along. Last but not least, if you'd like to take part in the super secret chat and the even more super secret after party, think about joining the Patreon. Link is down in the video description. As a bonus, you'll get exclusive access to my Discord server, where you can chat with myself, Rett, Tom, Cheese, all the hosts from Talking Heads, and join the awesome community that hangs out over there. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to this Wednesday night.
Yes, it is a Wednesday night. How are you doing, sir?
Hanging in there. Hanging in there. It's been a whirlwind of a week. It's only Wednesday.
It is only Wednesday. Let's see. Okay, now I can talk. I woke up this morning and had some things on my you need to check out in November list. You know, things around the house, winterizing, etc. It is rainy season now, and we got
and it's really rainy.
and we got a weather advisory here that we are due for unseasonably wet and windy conditions, including a tornado watch for 12 hours today. So that was exciting.
Tornado watch.
We had a tornado watch at my house. Yeah. So that was exciting. So I decided to... I had these things on my list, and I'm like, I might as well just take care of them now. Let's get them done. That way I'm not worried about them. I got into the crawl space in my house and immediately heard water running. No one's in the shower. Washing machine's not running. Dishwasher's not running. Why do I hear running water? And I look over at my water heater, and there's water pouring down it. And soaking the floor and everything else. Luckily, this is a crawl space. But I'm like, oh crap. So run outside, turn off the main water shut off for the house, hit the electrical for the water heater itself, and start diagnosing. I'm like, do I call an emergency plumber? God, that's going to be $1,500 to get someone out in the next couple of hours. You know what? I know enough. Let me dig in. So I heard the spraying, and I could see where it was dripping down from, and it was spraying directly into some insulation. And so I just got up there and ripped the insulation down. It's like, we're gonna have to replace that anyway. It was luckily it wasn't like a fitting or a copper pipe or anything that had burst. It was actually the flex main supply line for the hot water side. And so $20, new hose, you're back up and running. But now we have to dry everything out. And so I went and bought a blower fan, and I've got tomorrow morning I'm going to get a diesel heater under there and dry the ever-loving crap out of the crawl space. And probably run that for like a week, just to be sure. So went to the hardware store, got the hose replaced, got the water turned back on, got the hot water heater turned back on. Went and got the blower fan. And when I got the blower fan is when the weather started rolling in, and so all of a sudden I was less walking through the parking lot and more swimming.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when it hit, it hit.
It hit
Yeah.
hard, yeah. So I was out in the middle of the parking lot when that hit. So that
I
was
feel
fun.
like atmospheric river was a word that I didn't know until like last year, you know?
Right, and all of a sudden it's been nothing but that in October and now into November. And yeah, as I was, so I drive a little hot hatchback now. I've got a little Chevy Bolt, and while I was driving on the way home, I'm driving over one of the bridges, and I can feel it pushing my car around, and it's like, dang. So that was fun. And then yeah, just all kinds of stuff working around here. I do have a show and tell piece. We'll get to that later in the episode. It has to do with some of the show that happened last week. So stay tuned to maybe the last 30 minutes or so. I think we'll dive into some show and tell. But I decided to grab one of my favorite local IPAs. This is from Black Raven Brewing. It is the Mecha Raven Double IPA. Not only is it a fantastic IPA, it's also some of the best can art from a lot of local brews. This one is, I always forget where they are from. Woodinville, Washington. That's right. It's not quite local, but local-ish. But yeah, Black Raven Brewing.
Nice.
This one's absolutely fantastic. Michael wants to know if the eBay order came in. It did. Yes, nice. So we have some show and tell later in the episode.
I got myself a beer here too.
Yeah, go for it.
It is local. Silver Falls Brewery.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a Czech amber lager. I don't know quite how to say it. Polatmave Pivo. Polatmave Pivo. It's a Czech amber. There we go. You can kind of see it. And anyway, it's they brewed it in support of the Paralyzed Veterans of America with hops and malt. Donated malt by Prairie Malt and hops by Crosby Hops, which is local to us.
Yeah.
And anyway, I had one earlier at the brewery itself. And it tasted really good, nice and dry and malty. And so I decided to get myself a road beer for the show.
Yeah.
I'm not going to show that pour off because I ruined it, but...
Well, that's okay. I'll show mine off.
Yeah. That's a good killer.
Yep. Nice reddish amber hue to it. This is a really good IPA. Jesse wants to know OpenViro update. If you didn't watch the show last week, I did give an update right at the beginning of last week's show. We have ordered everything that we need to start assembling devices. At this point, we're just waiting for devices to start arriving. And at that point, we'll be able to dial in our assembly and flashing process. I really hope to be shipping before the end of the year, but likely with the holidays and whatnot, it's going to be me sending out or delivering to Crowd Supply, who will handle last mile shipping. Shipping to all of you fine folks who backed the device sometime right after the first of the year. It is going to take 4 to 6 weeks to get PCBs still from overseas. There's the holidays to get through, so. But things are moving along. The order has been placed, and at this point, it's in production. So.
Heck yeah!
Yep. Basically, same news as last week. Anyway, let's see. What all are people drinking in chat today?
Rev's drinking a whiskey barrel stout from Boulevard Brewing Company out in KC, Missouri, 11.8%. Ooh, Harley McClear starting with the Sierra Nevada's Narwhal 2025, 10.2%.
Michael has been taking a game out of your playbook. He's starting off with a Budweiser Chilada.
Hell yeah, bro. Get it. Get it.
I saw that and I'm like, I know someone who likes a red beer.
God, I love a red beer, man. The Bud Light ones aren't too bad either. I'd rather home make them, but...
Yeah. I don't mind a good homemade Chilada. Or clamato, or whatever you want to call them, but yeah,
Clamato's the sauce or the juice you got to put into it to make it red. So
exactly, yeah,
that's the good stuff with like the clam juice in it.
Yeah, the clam and tomato base. Yeah.
Oh god, it's so good.
Yep.
Yeah, or you go to the right restaurant and you get just a big old one. They put the nice, like the tahini on the rim or something like that. Yeah.
Cody's got a Captain Morgan spiced and Coke Zero. That's a solid combo. Let's see. Zad says Guten Abend from all from Canada. So yeah, good evening, good sir.
Hello, Canada.
I don't know why Canadians are speaking German, but I'll accept it.
Well, why not?
Yeah.
This is the future they warned us about.
Right.
Surrounded on all sides.
Yeah.
Somebody's drinking a Guinness. Tiny bubbles, smooth taste.
Nothing wrong with a Guinness. Nice little nitro pour. I'll take that. Good times, good times. All right.
Sipping on a fine Gaspesian. Gaspesian 13. Nice. That's from Elaine Millet. Elaine Millet? Don't know. I shouldn't have read this one. In too deep. Ooh. We got Elysian Space Dust. Did you get that one from Jason?
I did not see that one. Space Dust is always a great one.
Local delicacy over here. All right, well. Keep those beers a-coming. Or non-beers.
Yeah. Cool. Let's go ahead and get started. So I believe it was you and I talked about this story sometime last year with the NZXT rental program. And I had some thoughts and opinions at the time, and those thoughts and opinions really haven't changed all that much. But someone apparently watched GN's video and decided to file a lawsuit against NZXT. Not only a lawsuit that they were attempting to get class action status for, but also a RICO lawsuit, which is for racketeering, embezzlement, securities fraud, all kinds of really big and really specific sounding words.
NZXT, baby!
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Wait a minute. Isn't this another YouTuber's shtick? Isn't another YouTuber all hot and bothered by NZXT?
It might have been, but you come here for nuanced takes. So
was it that the one with the long hair? Elevator guy.
Yep. Yeah, elevator guy. Yeah.
As I know him.
NZXT hit with a civil RICO suit in California over controversial PC rental business. The class action lawsuit alleges the PC Flex program is a bait and switch scheme that included used and inferior hardware.
Nice.
So,
dude, got him. Open and shut.
Yeah. So there are three plaintiffs: Jacob Burns, Jonathan Moulton, and Stephen Zoe, not to be confused with Stephen Burke, who is of Gamers Nexus. have brought a case under a civil RICO cause of action. Now, the interesting thing about this is, again, all of this, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an accountant, I don't even play one on TV, but words, one of my favorite phrases is words have meaning. And especially when you get into legal definitions, words have meaning. Fraud, bait and switch, embezzlement, racketeering. These are all words that have very specific meaning. And what they're alleging is that the meanings applied to these words also apply to this NZXT Flex program. If you're not familiar, NZXT, not only do they sell PC components and fully built PCs through their NZXT build program, but they also now, starting sometime last year, started up what they called the NZXT Flex program. I believe Flex is actually a rebrand from a previous name, because I think they named it something different originally, and it became NZXT Flex, but I digress. The NZXT Flex program is essentially like a long-term lease. You select a PC that you want. You pay NZXT a monthly rate for that PC. They ship it to your house or wherever you want it. You use the PC. You game on it as your own. Every couple of years, you choose another PC. And they send you out new hardware. You keep paying the same rate. You get automatic upgrades.
Boom.
What could be wrong with that, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's exorbitantly expensive.
Sure.
And I'm not here to argue that. It's a ridiculous price. The cost that they are charging is oftentimes the cost of the PC after about 20 months or so. And you don't get to keep the PC. It's not yours. It's not a rent-to-own program. It is a lease program.
Yeah.
But once your term is up, once your loan is up or whatever, if you want to continue, you can get new hardware and just keep paying. So to say that this is like, there's absolutely no one who would ever sign up for this, I think there's lots of people who would sign up for this. But that's the program in a nutshell. The lawsuit is alleging that the PCs here are a bait and switch, included used and inferior hardware, and was basically tricking people into signing up for PC, like showing them really, really expensive PCs and then selling them the floor model or the base model PC, or renting them rather. We went through this last year.
Mm-hmm. Sure feels like we did.
I seem to remember there was no bait and switch. The crux of it was it's a bad deal. If you're going to build a PC, if you're going to buy a PC, this is a horrible price. Fully agreed. I don't think this is a good deal. But not a good deal doesn't equate it to fraud or bait and switch or racketeering or embezzlement or any of the other words that have been thrown around.
Or what RICO implies. Organized crime.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love this idea too. It's like, well, they're giving you used PCs, and it's like, yes, welcome to the term rental, or whatever.
What do you think happens when those PCs go back?
I rented a Nissan Versa and it was used. There was a cigarette butt in the ashtray. Did you know they make Nissan Versas with ashtrays in them still, Jeff?
It's because they haven't updated it since 2012. But yeah, if you go to Hertz and you rent a car, that car is used.
It's not fair.
Weird. I know. But what is the basis of this bait and switch? Well, here's the actual complaint. Here is the case filed October 5th, 2025, 84 pages long. Let's just scroll down. Let's see. Plaintiffs Jacob Burns, Jonathan Moulton, Stephen Zoe, individually on behalf of all others similarly situated by and through their undersigned counsel, bring this class action complaint against NZXT and Fragile. Fragile being the company that is handling the payment processing for NZXT. It gives a brief introduction about who is NZXT. They conspired to defraud consumers through gross misrepresentations and illegal business practices. NZXT is a computer hardware manufacturer that specializes in high-end gaming PCs. Aside from selling PCs and PC parts, NZXT also provides rental-based PC hardware under NZXT's PC Flex program. To provide the Flex program, NZXT partnered with Fragile, a debt collection and payment services company that administers and manages the program. There's your intro. Defendants, NZXT and Fragile, conspired to defraud NZXT's rental customers through false representation and material omissions about the program and the rights and obligations created through the program. Defendants explicitly entered into an agreement and formed the enterprise to intentionally commit fraud against consumers and execute a bait and switch scheme through the use of the mails and wires. So they're also alleging wire fraud here. Defendants knowingly disseminated grossly misleading advertisements and communications regarding the nature of the program and specifics, components, attributes of the leased PCs. No contracts, no commitment, zero strings attached. Defendants advertised that the program provided consumers with a lifetime warranty. Defendants advertised that lessees had the right to own the PC while requiring monthly payments. That's how rental works. Take this home, use it like it's yours, but pay the monthly fee to continue using it. That's how rental works. Indicating the program was a rent-to-own agreement. None of that was in the agreement. Through deceptive tactics and fraud, defendants induced lessees to join the program and sign onerous, unclear, contradictory, and illegal leases. By the way, you'll see this a lot through the entire thing. See Jay's 2 cents and Gamers Nexus for all of their cited sources. I believe Gamers Nexus is cited 14 times in this complaint.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. As part of the deception, defendants repeatedly promised new and premium computer hardware while knowingly delivering used and inferior components. To illustrate, defendants advertised a pre-assembled Player 3 PC containing an RTX 4090 graphics card, but switched Plaintiff Burns' graphics card to an Nvidia RTX 4080 Super when he rented a Player 3 PC. Okay, let's stop there. He went to the buy page and went to the Player 3 PC, which is the name of the PC, and that PC includes an RTX 4090. He then clicks over to the rental version of this page, and it includes an RTX 4080 Super. Let me demonstrate. Here, we have the Player 3 PC. We are on the Buy tab. We can buy this PC right now. It includes a Ryzen 7 9800X3D and an RTX 5080. The specs are on the page right there. If I scroll back up and I click on subscribe, now we're on the subscription Flex PC. Not a rent to own. Access it, pay monthly, cancel anytime. Does that say buy? Does that say rent to own? Does that imply any odicum of ownership? No. It says pay us and you can use this. If we scroll down, it includes an Intel Core i7 and an RTX 4070 Ti. By the way, you can also buy either new or like new. You can rent either one. Oh, and the new one also includes an RTX 5080. So the same graphics card, slightly different processor, 265K versus the 9800X3D. Tell me where in this page is a bait and switch. Tell me where. Find the bait and switch. If I click on subscribe, it tells me the specs. If I click on buy, it tells me the specs. Where's the bait and switch?
It's not the point. That's not what frivolous lawsuits are about, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Frivolous lawsuits are about it's a war of attrition. You wear them down.
Yeah.
You wear them out.
Yeah.
You settle out of court.
By the way, we did this same thing when we covered this last year. Where's the bait and switch? It is your whole thing based on the fact that these were named the same. There were like player 1, player 2, player 3, and now they're called Flex 3, Flex 2, Flex 1. They're in the same cases, but they did like at least change the name of the rental version versus the purchased version. But that's like suing a car manufacturer because they advertised a car on TV that had full self-driving and 500 horsepower V8, and then when you went to buy that car, it didn't have the self-driving and it came with a V6. Yeah, there's multiple versions of the same car. That's still a Camaro. Like, a Camaro's the vehicle. The specs that you put into it make it different. And guess what? They charge different prices. Guess what? You can also lease that vehicle, but usually only in specific trim packages because they're not going to sell you the 100% premium one because that loses value faster. Where's the bait and switch? I know this isn't a good deal. I understand this is not a good deal. If we add this up for the subscription PC, let's just do this. $209 a month times 12 months is $2,508 for a Core Ultra 7 265KF and an RTX 5080. You could probably buy that PC for $1,800. Just literally spitballing here. You could probably buy that for about $1,800. But let's say you want to upgrade after 12 months. You send this PC back, they send you a new PC.
I think like what a lot of people are forgetting is like, think about any report on the economy that you've heard for the last 10 months. Our groceries are going up and rent is going up and everything is becoming more expensive, yet the economy is strong because consumer spending is up. But it's the top however many percent of people, it's the top 20% of spenders who are supporting all of the spending underneath it. So if a company can rent a computer for $2,500 a month and people are going to pay it, where's the big deal in that?
Yeah.
Because the entire consumer economy is being supported by 20% of people or however many people it is. It's being supported by a much smaller number of people than the rest of us who are, are pinching our pennies, waiting for the deal, who are buying our next PC with used parts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a huge gulf between this is fraud and this is a deal meant for people other than me.
Yeah. And coming back to my original point, like, words have meaning. Bait and switch means advertising one thing, signing a customer up with the implication or the expressly stated you will be receiving X, but then delivering Y. Just because a thing is named the same in multiple locations, as in a Flex 3 PC or a Player 3 PC or a Chevrolet Camaro, doesn't mean all Camaros are identical. I know some Camaro bros would have you believe that, but there is a difference between the V6 and the V8 and the L1T and the L2T, and there's different models, okay? We understand this as a concept. We understand that renting something is not owning something. And I'm sure I haven't looked at the contract, but I'm sure the contract goes through, look, pay the monthly fee, you can rent this as long as you want. You can upgrade anytime, you can do whatever. None of this is bait and switch. None of this is false advertising. The specs are on the freaking page. Like, they're right there. Depending on what I click. If I click buy, here's specs. Cool. And if that's the basis for your lawsuit, you're an idiot. I didn't even say if that was the basis for your 3-hour expose. I just said if it's the basis for your lawsuit. Yeah. I am not a lawyer. This is not legal advice, but this has no chance of holding up in court.
Who knows, man? Any more? Vince says that Gian and Jay are about to see a libel lawsuit.
Words have meaning, and words also carry weight. And yeah, you also can't go around claiming fraud and when there is none. Like, but Jeff, what about my full self-driving? When will that show up? I've got some really disappointing news for you. Yeah, I understand the advice to consumers that the NZXT Flex program is not a good deal. It's not a good value, at least to most people. If you're non-technical and you just want a PC and you want the infinite upgradability, I mean, for God's sakes, that's why car leases exist.
Yeah, I know. And everybody knows that car leases are bad deals.
Yeah.
But there's a reason they still exist.
Right. It's because some people don't ever want to worry about maintenance on their car or upkeep, and they always want to drive a new car. And they will happily sign a lease knowing it's a bad deal, but it gets them exactly what they want. And that's fine. As long as the terms of the lease are agreed upon by both parties, it's not fraud.
I mean, come on, guys. Is it really a free market economy if there's only one option, which is to buy it and own it? No. There needs to be every point on the spectrum between owning it and not owning it that I can partake in, okay? Partial ownership, maybe like a visitation schedule.
Yeah.
Odd days I get it, even days you get it. Every other weekend schedule, okay? And leases.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, see, and somebody mentioned Rent-A-Center, and that was like one of my first thoughts too. It's like, well, we better go after Rent-A-Center.
I think we even said as much. I think we even said as much. Like, if you want to go after predatory lending, go after freaking Rent-A-Center. They're right there. You can even drive up with cameras. You don't even have to schedule a trip to LA to do that one. Freaking $4,000 for a $300 TV. Yeah, that's a thing at Rent-A-Center. Guess what? That's also not fraud. It's a terrible deal, and no one should ever do that. I don't care what your circumstances are. You should never rent to own something from Rent-A-Center. But that doesn't make it fraud. Fraud is a very specific word. Racketeering is a very specific word. Securities fraud, very specific term. Organized crime, specific term. None of this qualifies.
Yeah. Somebody else mentioned timeshares.
Yeah.
It's. I don't know. You know what? If this is the lawsuit that finally just tears, all predatory business practices down. I'm all for it. Let's go.
Sure.
Sign me up. Can I be a part of this class here? Is this they looking for some people to sign up?
Skull says, sit through this 4-hour seminar for a new PC 2 days out of the year. I mean, if you think about it, renting a cloud gaming PC is basically just a timeshare.
It really is. It really is.
You can only access it certain times, and you pay for it whether you use it or not.
I mean, what's the difference between like, okay, I know there's a big difference here, but like, is there a ethical difference between like this and like cloud gaming subscriptions? I mean,
I
can
think
you even...
I think there is to a certain degree. I mean, look, obviously, I love cloud gaming, at least as a concept. Maybe it's not for everyone.
Well, then why didn't you sign up for Amazon's cloud gaming service? I thought you loved it, Jeff.
Because
aren't you the cloud gaming guy?
No, I'm the self-hosting cloud gaming guy. There's a difference.
So you're the reason they shut it down.
Probably. I mean, I didn't buy it, so...
I hope that's true. I hope that there's just a picture of your face up there.
Right.
Cloud gaming comes out with new games.
I mean, cloud gaming comes out with new games. NZXT's Flex program allows you to upgrade your PC once a year. Or more, if you want. It's not a contract. It's a month-by-month thing. Keep paying the contract, keep your PC. If you're happy with your PC, keep your PC. If you're not happy with your PC, trade it in, get something new. It's not a great deal, but I'm sure this makes sense to some people, especially non-technical people who do not want to ever open the side of their PC. They simply want a good gaming PC. Is an Intel 285K, 265K, and an RTX 5080 a great gaming PC? Yes. Yes, it is. They're not selling you, an RTX 4060 and calling it the world's best gaming PC. They're being honest about the specs. They're being honest about the performance. They're being honest about the price. It's up to you to determine value.
What would be the value that makes this acceptable to people who are looking at their next YouTube expose? Where's the fine line here? What price point could it possibly make this not a scandal?
I don't think it can, unless it hits the break-even point for hardware, at which point it's not sustainable for NZXT to do. Because remember, you're renting the PC. You don't own the PC, which means you have none of the liability of owning the PC. You have none of the responsibility of what happens when hardware dies. What happens when I have a problem? What happens when XYZ? So, going back to the NZXT, the Player 3 or the Flex 3, let's look at the new PC. Let's look at the Intel Core i7. They don't specify which one, although I'm going to assume this is like a 13600K. Because they changed to Core Ultra after that.
But Jeff,
the i7.
But Jeff, if I don't have any of the liability, are you actually telling me that this has more that could benefit me than just having hardware on my desk?
Yeah, because
that's not how this works.
You're not responsible if the hardware dies. If the hardware dies, you call NZXT, they ship you out new hardware.
No. That doesn't sound right. That sounds like a good idea.
When you want to trade in, you don't have to trade in. You just ship the thing back and you order your new PC.
Wait a minute. That's what they have a problem with? Just kidding.
Apparently.
It's like, wow. All of the merits.
Rett, you don't need to play bad cop with me, okay? I'm doing a fine job on my own. But yeah, NZXT fronts some of the PC ownership by renting you the PC, but also by handling the hardware things. They're not going to sell it to you or rent it to you at the same price they could just sell it to you at. Yeah. That makes no sense.
They're going to rent it to you for a year, maybe try to rent it out more. And then when they're all done with it, they're going to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, this is how rentals work.
They're going to get 3 to 4 years of rental out of this PC. If they can scrape $100 a month, that's $1,200 a year out of this in like 3 years. And is that the best deal? No, it's a worse deal than the $2,500 PC, but it's guaranteed revenue for them. It's a higher revenue rate than they would have gotten just by selling you the hardware. And they can sell the parts used when they're done.
No, people have to own everything from now on.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Seth says you're a terrible cop.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. This is more expensive than owning a PC. Guess what? So is renting a house.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember having a lot of fun with this last year, but at this point, it's just like...
As someone who had to deal with a blown pipe in their water heater today, as the owner of the house, trust me, I wish I rented my house today.
Yeah.
Because that seems more affordable to me right now.
Yep.
As someone who needs a new roof on their house, as someone whose heat pump only blows hot, I wish I rented my house right now. Because none of those things would be a problem. It's a good deal for some, it's not a good deal for others. You have to choose your value. The value's up to the buyer, not the seller.
Are options good?
Options are good.
Debatable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Unless it only benefits the consumer and no one else, then I don't see how it could be a good deal.
Yeah.
Good anything. The YouTube money will take care of it, Jeff.
YouTube money. Well, you know what? Speaking of YouTube money, today's episode is brought to you by Meter, the company that's building better networks. Managing networks can be a pain, and anyone who's ever built out a business network knows that you've got different vendors for every piece of your deployment, from switching, routers, firewalls, Wi-Fi points. Plus, you get to juggle your local ISPs, installers, and somehow when things break, they're still all somehow your problem. Meter aims to change that, delivering a complete networking stack, including high-speed wired and wireless networking, power delivery, firewall and routing, and even cellular in one integrated solution that's built for performance and scalability. You pay a predictable monthly cost, Meter supplies you with the hardware you need, and will keep everything up and running. Meter handles everything: the hardware, design, installation, monitoring, even dealing with your ISP to get you the best rates on your internet connectivity so you don't have to. You get enterprise-grade switches, Wi-Fi 7 access points, and fully managed security appliances, all tied to a single cloud-based dashboard that gives you visibility into your entire network stack. Best of all, there's no upfront expenses. When you sign with Meter, they supply all of your hardware your business needs, and will automatically upgrade your hardware as time goes on. Sounds really familiar, doesn't it? Ensuring you and your users and your business always have the tools and connectivity you need. Whether you're starting up a new business, adding new offices, or simply need to upgrade your existing network, go to meter.com/craftcomputing to book a demo today. That's meter.com/craftcomputing, and thanks again to Meter for sponsoring today's episode. There could not have been a better segue there.
I was thinking this when we were talking about this the whole time. I was like, this is exactly like Meter. You know?
There could not have been a better segue there.
If you can't beat it, meet it with Meter. Meter.com.
This is why I don't have you write hooks.
Yeah. And that was the tame version.
Very happy to have Meter on board sponsoring the podcast. You'll be hearing from them
quite a bit.
Yeah, quite a bit. So, all right. Where would you like to go from here? I'll give you dealer's choice.
Wow, dealer's choice. Well, look, I mean, I sometimes I like to go in chronological order, but if we're gonna laugh, we should laugh. Let's go to
I'm gonna laugh. Yeah.
PCWorld.com. All
Oh,
about
yes.
password security.
Yes, this is a good one. So the Louvre, you may have heard of it. Famous museum, downtown Paris. They've got a lot of really good things. They've got a lot of one-of-a-kind, priceless artifacts, art pieces, jewelry, all kinds of
Mona
really.
Lisa. Isn't the Mona Lisa there?
Yeah, the Mona Lisa's at the Louvre.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they've got everything, and a lot of it. You may have heard recently that the Louvre recently was broken into in broad daylight, and they stole, what was it, $100 million in jewelry?
Is that really what they valued all that as?
I'm forgetting how much jewelry. Let me look it up.
Oh, I clicked a link within our story here, and it's a paywall for the New York Times. But yeah, they made off with a lot, and it happened in broad daylight during operating hours, 9:30 a.m. on a Sunday morning, and
hold on, yeah.
I mean, they stole off.
Items stolen, French crown jewels. The items were identified by the Ministry of Culture as the tiara, necklace, and an earring from the sapphire set of Queen Marie Amélie and Queen Hortense. I'm butchering those. I apologize.
They're French. It's okay.
Right. They're going to butcher my name too, so it's fine. The emerald necklace and pair of emerald earrings from Empress Marie Louise. And a reliquary brooch, a large corsage bow brooch, and the tiara of Empress Eugenie de Montijo.
Okay.
While fleeing, the robbers dropped the crown of Empress Eugenie, which was found damaged due to the thieves pulling it through an opening in the glass cases that was too small for it. Media and experts noted that the thieves did not appear to target several significant diamonds in the gallery. The Regent is valued at 51 million euros alone.
Oh, yes.
But the Louvre curator estimated damages to be $88 million in the heist.
I'm so happy that we still live in the age of art heists and museum
I thought
heists.
they were gone.
Now, this is... I did too, right? It's like 2025.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like this should have been over with, like, I don't know, 80 years ago?
Yeah.
60 years ago? I don't know. But
And by the way, Vince chimes in with a $10 super chat. Error 407 in honor of episode 407 today.
Woo-hoo.
Proxy authentication required. Why couldn't today's number be a reference to money or legal issues? LMAO.
Yeah. There was also a $5 super chat from.
Oh, did I miss that?
Tag.
Oh,
Yeah.
There we go. Green, yeah. $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Green. I just watched the network connection die on 4 automated tests. 15-minute past quit time. 0 things I can do about it. Closes laptop, walks away slowly.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh, and did we get the $2 one? Not a professional J?
We did not.
Here we go.
Joins, legal doc. Hang on, let me get my popcorn.
Yeah, you were just in time, bro. Just in time.
Yep.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully your popcorn's still good.
Hopefully we did the popcorn some justice there, so.
But as for the Louvre, the part of the story that's funny is that apparently it was reported that in 2014 there was a cybersecurity audit which found that the Louvre's video surveillance system password was Louvre. Which, I don't know, maybe they were just counting on, French spelling and pronunciation to protect them. But like you gotta think that if anybody is stealing from the Louvre, that they're familiar with French spellings and pronunciation. Right? Right? I mean,
You would hope. Everyone always forgets that R, and that's really your security by obscurity.
right. Like the Americans go over there like, time to get me some crown jewels, and they're like LOOV.
Yes.
And they're like, the Louvre, I love that sport. I watch it on the Winter Olympics all the time. The Louvre.
The Louvre.
Hey, Jamaica's got a bobsled team. Right?
Let's stop the jokes there, because I have some that get really inappropriate really quick for the luge.
All right, we'll stop it. But that's right up there with, like, I don't know. It reminds me of when I've done some audits like this, and I'm like, surely this machine that is public facing and accessed by 1,000 people a day has changed its administrative login passwords. Nope, it's still 0000.
Yeah. Yeah, admin type stuff. Yes.
I mean, look, it's great that default passwords exist.
Yeah.
But you're the Louvre.
Yeah. This is why things like smart cards and user-based authentication exist. Shared credentials are always the weakest, because shared credentials need to be easy to share by default. And so, hey, what's the login for X service? Oh, it's just Louvre. Just spell it. You have to be able to share it readily and quickly. And so that's where a lot of security breaks down. I had this, I think I've told this anecdote before, but someone brought it up in my Discord this last week, and I retold it, so I think I'll tell it again. Me and my other senior networking guy, we were the two with the keys to the kingdom, as far as IT infrastructure goes. We were the two root level users. Were called into the CEO's office one day, and the CEO told us, we're going to more than likely be firing a C-suite employee today. We know that employee has greater than normal access to systems. We need to ensure that when this termination goes through, that access is pulled immediately. Under the circumstances, we feel things might go sideways, so we're going to give you a text message during the process so you can terminate before the meeting ends. Please make sure this is like ready to go. So we said, okay. So we go back. Now, luckily, we had already thought about all this, and a lot of our authentication for all of the individual services that this user had access to was handled through Active Directory. It was all group membership tied. And so simply by revoking that user's Active Directory credentials, no other authentication would go through. Their VPN access is revoked, their internal services access is revoked, their file service access is revoked, their email is disabled. Everything is tied back down to that single sign-on. And we designed that system for a very specific purpose. We got the text message, we revoked access. We also spent the 30 or 40 minutes going through any other potential outside services that this person may have had access to, and disabled them, or talked through and said, how is that authenticated? Do we remember? What's the documentation? Oh yeah, no, that's still tied to AD. We're good. And that situation went off without a hitch. We got called back down to the CEO's office later that afternoon and said, thank you so much. Can we confirm that everything's done? Yes, everything's done. Okay, cool. Now, the thing about being a root level user at a I'll call it a medium-sized business. Like, my company was about 250 employees total, but we also managed, we probably had 30,000 clients within our network as far as external services and everything else that we covered. So like medium bordering on large business. The thing with root level access, though, is oftentimes we need keys that are outside of that kingdom. If Active Directory fails in the middle of the night and I'm not at work, I need to be able to VPN in and get access so I can fix Active Directory, right? And so me and my other senior, we had a couple of backdoors. We had a couple of ways to get in. Our desktops were not AD authenticated, although we ran virtual machines that were, but our individual workstations were not. And so we could remote into workstations and we could dial in and things like that. We also had local admin passwords for a couple of our VM servers, and so we could dial into those. The consensus was, hey, let's make sure after this situation has been resolved, or now that the situation is resolved, let's make sure we go through all of our processes, make sure all of our authentication is handled in this way so we can turn one switch and be done. I don't know why I'm kind of lagging right now, but whatever.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that all authentication is handled in a way in which we can terminate the user and that user's access is revoked permanently. And we're all good. And we said, all right, thank you. And then he goes, one last thing. If I ever have to have this meeting with one of you in the room about the other person, I'm just going to hand that person a knife. That is the best joke my boss ever told. Look, finding me lag-wise. Yeah, it was weird. My video was like speeding up and slowing down inside of OBS. I don't know if that's what was being encoded or if my
yeah, on my end it looks
preview
just
was...
like we got a little bit of pocket loss.
Yeah, we got a little bit of a hitch.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm on a Mac today.
Woohoo!
Right. So
good job, Tim Apple.
So this is a thing. Yeah.
Uh-oh. Oh. There you go. Look at you.
And all of this just kind of works now. Well, I don't know if we was my microphone going through? Hold on.
I can hear you.
Sorry, I didn't add my mic to that scene, and so my audio died during that scene. Cool.
I can hear you. That's funny.
Yeah, you can hear me. That's because that's piped into Zoom. So anyway, I have a very specific layout of my desktop that I want to be present while I'm streaming. So I've got my show notes off to the left, as well as YouTube chat and everything else. And there's my Discord ping. You went silent in Big View, by the way. Thank you. Yeah, mods just let me know. Cool. Audio was down. I'm talking about it now. But this is something that I tried to do on Linux and wasn't able to do. I found the right application to make this work inside of Mac OS, and so now I have predefined zones for all of my windows, where I can open an application and I can snap it to that location. But all of my apps just work. I have DaVinci Resolve and Affinity Photo installed on here. I'm going to be editing my next video on Mac OS. I have my network drives installed on here. I have...
Yo, isn't Affinity so good, though?
Affinity's come so far so quickly.
I got the whole suite of tools, man.
So did I.
You just seamlessly go, but well, why wouldn't you? It's affordable. You know?
Right, it's $83 is I think what I paid. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, dude. So good. Anyway. Not to derail, but...
This is on an M4 Mac Mini, the base model Mac Mini. I replaced my just built 9950X3D with an RTX 5080 in it because I got so freaking pissed off with Windows. I'm running on a $600 Mac Mini. Oh, by the way, my camera is coming through my Blackmagic Decklink 4K Quad PCI Express capture card via a Thunderbolt dock.
Oh, nice.
I just got a Thunderbolt dock in, so I have my PCI Express capture card, my quad HDMI capture card that is very vital to my workflow as well, both broadcasting as well as my video capture and tutorials and benchmarks and everything else that I do. Yeah, that's in a Thunderbolt dock here now.
Hell yeah.
The Zoom preview window is in the little Mac Classic shell monitor that we saw at Computex.
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh, nice.
I got
cool.
they sent me the Mac Mini dock with the Mac Classic and the screen built in. That's the screen you're running on right now.
Oh, that's fun. We're in the future right now, dude.
Right? Gearling chimes in. Which capture card? This is the Decklink. Let me look it up. Decklink Quad HDMI 4K. This is the capture card that I use. This is from Blackmagic. It is a Quad 4K HDMI capture card. It's expensive. It's $600, but it has native Mac OS support, even for Apple Silicon. And it works great. It's a PCI Express X8 card. But again, I'm on a Mac Mini and I'm running a Thunderbolt dock. Austin wants to know what dock did I end up going with. Right now, this is a StarTech dock, but I actually wanted the dual PCI Express dock with 2 PCI Express X16 slots in it, because I also want to put a 10 gig network card in, because I didn't think I would be using this as a workstation, so I only got 1 gig networking when I got it. Yeah, so I'm gonna have my Mac Mini with the little tiny like Mac Classic docking station on top of it, which also has an NVMe port in it. So I've got a 2 terabyte NVMe drive in this as well. And then I'll have 2 PCI Express X16 slots, which is more than any consumer PC platform has right now. Over Thunderbolt 4 connectivity. And should be able to run my HDMI capture card as well as 10 gigabit networking with no problems whatsoever. And Gearling says he'll be at SC25. I was planning on going. Unfortunately, I have to announce that I'm going to forego attending SC 2025. The reason is nothing to do with not wanting to attend. I desperately wanted to attend SC 2025. It's because of the government shutdown. I don't want to fly there and then end up being stuck there because flights stop. Yeah. It's something I'm a little worried about. It's something that almost happened to us during the last government shutdown, Rett, if you remember that.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, we were in Vegas in, what was that, 2019, I want to say. Yeah. Yeah, we were in Vegas. We flew into Vegas and we got a rental car, the Nissan Versa we mentioned earlier. And the whole time we were thinking we should shoot a review of the Nissan Versa while we're in Vegas. And so we were coming up with different lines while we were driving around. The Nissan Versa with room enough for 2.5 people. And things like that. And then it looked like McCarran was going to shut down. They were one of the airports on the list to stop flights on Thursday. We flew out on Friday. Luckily, the government started back up on Wednesday of that week, and we ended up making our flight on Friday. But it was a little dicey for a while. So we had decided we're going to extend our rental car agreement and just drive it back, and we're going to do a rental car review on the way home.
Would have been fun.
It would have been fun, yeah.
But I also didn't want to miss Elton John. who I saw that day.
Yeah. We got back on Friday afternoon, and you saw Elton John at the Rose Garden later that evening. Yeah.
Row 10, baby.
Yeah, I dropped you off at the Rose Garden from the airport.
Yeah, you did. Yep.
I
was like, well, this is the only way I'm going to make this on time.
Yep. So yeah, I hope everything goes fine, and I hope everyone who attends has a wonderful time, and I hope everyone gets home as they can, but this month, I'm not going to risk it. I'm a little worried about how things are going.
Yeah.
And,
it's a bummer because I opted out of PDX land because we had some potential fun plans.
Yeah.
So I'm missing PDX land. But
hey,
you know what?
Hey, Rett, if you still want to go, I have a seat.
I was wondering that when you said that you were going the other day, and I was thinking to myself, are you going? Yeah.
I am going. We have a way to get you a seat. If you would like a seat, we can make that happen.
I don't think it works anymore because I had planned around this other thing happening.
Gotcha.
And then when yeah, I don't know. I could check though. I'll check because I want to go.
Yeah.
I want to go.
Let me know. You don't have to decide on camera.
Good. But, everyone's like, oh, is he going to be there?
Yeah, no, all of a sudden it's like, Rett, go. Yep. Yeah, unfortunately I didn't get the 10 gig in my Mac Mini. I just wanted the base model. I just wanted to play around with it. So I've been using a Mac for ever. I talked about this on Tom Lawrence's vlog Thursday last week, but I've been a 20 plus year Mac user in various aspects. I just wanted a new 3D printing and CAD workstation behind me. And I've always done all my CAD work and 3D printing stuff on Mac, and I kind of wanted to continue that. So I got a Mac Mini M4. And in fact, this one was bought by Yocto and donated to the channel. So thank you again, Yocto. You're now running the channel. But I needed Thunderbolt expansion and 10 gig networking and a couple other things. So I got a Thunderbolt dock now. I do have a dual Thunderbolt dock on the way, so that'll be here probably next week, and I'll probably be returning the StarTech one. I bought the StarTech one because it said it was a dual PCI Express, and then when I got here, lo and behold, it's a single PCI Express, but with 2 slots. It's like, ugh. So. But hopefully next week, I've got a Mac Mini with quad HDMI capture and 10 or maybe even 25 gig networking. And I can have some fun with that.
That's fun. Every time you're the only person that ever uses a Mac that always makes me want to get a Mac. Like the way you talk about, I'm like, oh, damn, am I missing out right now? Anybody else talks about it, I'm like, you're an idiot. There's a Windows workaround for that, and I couldn't respect you less.
Right. And you know what's really funny? The one thing that I said didn't work on Mac that is very specific to me all of a sudden works on Mac. And that is Mac for the longest time has not had a native way to capture audio output. So if you send audio to your speakers, you can't capture that as a recording or pipe it through to another program. You have to have an audio input to capture audio.
What is that, like a piracy protection measure or something?
No, it's literally just the way that audio is processed on the Mac. So it has nothing to do with piracy or protection or anything like that. But OBS can now capture natively an application output and can pipe that application's audio output into OBS as an audio input.
Nice, okay.
And so in Windows, what I did is I would pipe Zoom audio to my Focusrite Scarlett to the headphone.
Right.
But then I would capture that output in OBS as an input for your voice. Mac can now just capture the audio in and out from Zoom. And so all it's doing is listening to the audio output from Zoom and going, yes, that's good to me.
Perfect.
So it works now.
Finally.
Yeah.
Macs
I had
are
to go.
usable.
I had to go
2025.
through all of my scenes and redo all of my audio in and outs, but now it works. But yeah, we are fully on Mac OS here.
Hell yeah.
And I'll be editing my videos from here. So I had a fantastic experience editing videos from Computex on my M4 MacBook Air.
Yeah.
So I figured might as well give this a shot, see how it goes. If it works out, who knows? Maybe I'll buy like an upgraded M4, M5 Mac Mini or something like that. I don't know if I necessarily need a Mac Studio.
Yeah.
But
probably too much money too.
Honestly, you can. Tom just got an M4 Mac Studio Max for $1,600.
Like I said, probably too much money. No, just kidding.
But I mean, if I glance down and I observe the 9950X 3D and RTX 5080 and ROG crosshair motherboard and $400 power supply and that's a $2,000 PC below me. Like,
you already own those.
I do, and I already have the Mac Mini too, and that's where I'm struggling.
Yeah. But I see what you're saying. Like, oh yeah, something like that could be nice.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to try the Mac Mini for a while. We'll see how it goes. So far, I'm thrilled. So far, it's been going super, super great. And then yeah, we'll kind of go from there.
Hell yeah. Well, somebody wanted us to get to the next story. I don't know how you're feeling about it, but
yeah.
The DGX story is what was requested in the channel.
Sure. Yeah, we could do that. Elmo sends over $2. Thank you so much, Elmo.
Woohoo!
So that microcloud server. You mean this microcloud server?
Ooh, nice.
We'll talk about it here in a little bit. Let us get through the rest of the news, and then I've got some microcloud stuff to talk about.
Let's do the news quick. We got quite a few stories. We can do these quick.
Exactly.
And then we get to the fun stuff.
John Carmack, that John Carmack of Doom fame, has a DGX Spark and says he's less than impressed. It offers about half the power and performance that's promised by Nvidia, mostly due to thermal throttling.
Ooh.
And there have been some other users who have been complaining about similar issues. So we all know John Carmack. No introduction needed. ID Software, id Software, former Oculus VR CTO. DGX Spark appears to be maxing out at only 100 watts power draw, less than half of the rated 240 watts. Oops, and of course I was trying to highlight, so it just
good job,
around.
Jeff.
There we go. And it seems to only be delivering about half the quoted performance, assuming 1 petaflop sparse FP4 equals 125, TF dense BF16. It gets quite hot even at this level, and I saw a report. Okay, screw it, we'll go back.
Spontaneous rebooting on a long run, so it was derated before launch.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Videocards.com quotes the lead developer of Apple's MLX framework as backing up Carmack's claim, with the DGX Spark only achieving 60 teraflops of performance, where it would expect close to 4 times that.
Wow.
And keep in mind, this is a $4,000 mini PC.
Oh.
It is not cheap.
Well, I love the way that they close this with PC Mag. I'll try to go soft on him here, but
Sure.
It doesn't mean, they say, it doesn't mean the DGX Spark is useless. It's still a powerful AI dev tool, just probably not as good as Nvidia made it seem.
Oh, so it's fraud.
Oh my God, can you believe it? 4,000, the bait and switch! The bait and switch! Whoops. Everything moved. The bait and switch, Jeff.
Yes.
Where's the class action lawsuit?
Yeah.
Why isn't Gamers Nexus doing an expose?
This is a way bigger deal in my mind. So I haven't had access to a DGX Spark yet. I do know a couple people with them. I do know George over at Chips and Cheese is working on some content for the DGX Spark. He's been doing some testing with one remotely. I can confirm I am getting a third-party DG10 board. I'm not going to reveal who yet, but an OEM third-party, like board partner version of DGX Spark. I have one on the way. So we'll see if that is better. Holds up to performance numbers, 240 watts versus 100 watts. But yeah, so far a lot of different claims and testing coming out that Spark might be a little bit more about the aesthetics and less about the performance. I mean, it is pretty. It is a very pretty machine. It's sitting there in the gold. But hopefully this is something that can be addressed with like better fan curves. Hopefully this isn't something that needs thermal compound replaced or whatever else. I mean, I know that's not a big deal to anyone who disassembles PCs for a living, but this would be a big deal if you're simply an AI developer who might not. Or,
perhaps it's just a case of what we've been seeing for a long time. A lot of AI product developers saying that they can deliver one thing while delivering another.
This seems to be a pretty cut and dry hardware issue. If it were me trying to narrow something down, I wouldn't attribute this to, hey, we're going to replace 10,000 workers with one AI prompt and conflate that with simply not having enough cooling capacity.
Yeah. Maybe they knew it didn't have enough cooling capacity.
Could be.
They
had to have tested it, right?
Yeah, right.
They
like
had
you
to
would
have
think.
tested it.
This is Nvidia. They've got the single largest freaking market valuation on planet Earth, and you're going to tell me that they can't get this right?
Yeah.
But the problem is that, like, you go on anybody, you go online and you see all the circle jerk of money that's going around, and the AI bubble is completely centered on Nvidia overinflating itself with, one umbrella company or another sister company or whatever puppet company. And it's like every dollar of AI spent seems to be coming from Nvidia in order to prop up, AI evaluation so that more money is invested in AI. It's like, okay, well, not a surprise it's doing half as good as what they said it would. Because how many people are going to be getting these $4,000 boxes anyway? Well, they already got the sweet little market cap off of it, so they don't need to worry about it because I'm not going to get my hands on it. I'm not going to be able to do my YouTube expose on it anytime soon.
I mean, I wanted one simply because, damn, is that a sexy machine? I mean,
for sure.
Friggin' look at it. But unfortunately, I didn't get an OEM one. So, but I am slated to get one of the third parties. So we'll get to test that out. We'll see how it runs. Beer number 2. I've got a gigantic brewing company, and look, mechs were the theme of the day. Okay.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like if we had to go with a theme, it was mechs. This is the gigantic, ginormous Imperial IPA, also clocking in at 8%. Gigantic Brewing Company, Portland, Oregon. This one's way more local, but
mech
still
beer.
local.
Mech beer.
Mech beer, yes.
Better than neckbeard.
Yeah.
Oh, gorgeous.
Yep.
And a gorgeous glass.
It is. I still love the Code Rain glass.
Yeah, me too. It looks so nice. Brought to you by the other sponsor of the show, Craft Computing Don't Store. So that's the DGX Spark. I guess you'll just have to see what's up
Yep.
for yourselves. But you know who isn't dropping the ball when it comes to their AI chip-related performance?
I pointed this out. I might have been the first media outlet to talk about this at all. Was a little bit of a leaked product SKU from AMD. So I did my Strix Halo gaming test this last week. And in my research for this video, I was looking top to bottom at all of AMD's SKUs for Strix Halo. And they had previously announced, I believe it was 4. There was the Max Plus 395, the Max 390, the Max 385, and the Max 380. And those had varying levels of compute units for the RDNA 3.5 graphics solution, with the Max Plus being the only one that included the full 40 compute units. The Max 390 and 385 included 32 compute units, so a full 20% drop. And then the Max 380, I believe, included only 16 compute units, so even half of that. I have said multiple times, man, I wish AMD would develop a gaming product that was a little bit less CPU focused and a little bit more GPU focused. Because there's no reason a gaming handheld or a laptop needs 16 cores of Zen 5 to only 40 compute units of RDNA 3.5. Like, if you're aiming for 1080p gaming, 1080 medium settings to be able to like blow the doors off something, 140 FPS, 8 cores is fine. 6 cores is probably even better money spent wise, but 8 cores is probably going to be fine. Which means if AMD simply included a single CCD instead of dual CCDs on a chip, they could cut the price by a third, and give us a chip that had 8 cores and 40 compute units of RDNA 3.5. That, to me, is a good value gaming chip. And could potentially be available in products for, like, less than $1,000 versus the $2,200 for a Strix Halo desktop with the full Max Plus 395. Well, it seems AMD might have probably didn't listen to me, but probably listened to someone. They hinted at a couple new SKUs, and while I mentioned it in my Strix Halo gaming video, those rumors have picked up pace since then, with a couple of SKUs popping up on a couple of different forums, with the Ryzen AI Max AI Max Plus 388 and AI Max Plus 392. Now, the Max Plus indicates that it is a full 40 compute units graphics solution. The 388 is the product that I was excited about because that is exactly what I wanted. It is an 8-core, 16-thread, single CCD. But it maintains the full 8 channels of LPDDR5X. It has the same memory bandwidth, it has the same graphics solution, but half the cost on the CPU. Not only is this showing up in leaks now, it's been Geekbenched. It showed up in Geekbench. It has numbers.
Okay.
This is an actual product. It is showing up as... It had a very specific name to it. The SUAXP77. Right down, right here under hardware. And this one had only 24 gigs of LPDDR5X, which I think is also the right move. I don't need 64 gigs or 100 28 gigs in my gaming handheld or gaming tablet. 24 gigs? Give me 12 and 12. Give me 12 to the graphics card, 12 to the CPU. That is a phenomenal balancing of all the components involved. I think to get peak performance on a sub 60 or 70 watt chip. Probably closer to 100 watts if I'm being honest, but sub 100 watt chip. I want it.
Maybe someday.
Mm-hmm.
AMD, pick up the phone.
Well, I'm just glad AMD is listening. Like I said, I don't know if they heard it from me, because I know I've talked about this to multiple reps about like, yeah, Strix Halo is going to be a great gaming product. Not at $2,300, it's not. No, you need to cut that down. Not on the graphics, but on the CPU. Stop giving us 8 cores and 16 compute units and flip the script, because you've got a 16 core with 16 compute unit. Flip the script the other way. Give us 8 cores, or maybe even less, but the full fat GPU. And we don't need all the memory, but we still need all the bandwidth. And so I was saying 32 gigs. 24? That's even better. That means lower price. And that means actually better suited for like 1080p style gaming. I am super excited about this. And Novella says $1,000 level. Yeah, I believe this product in a product could come in at sub $1,000. And that's insane.
Heck yeah. I don't care what they said, Jeff. I think that you did say this, and I think that they listened to you.
I mean,
Done
I'll
deal.
take credit, and I'm certainly going to ask a couple of contacts, hey, is this a direct result of me? Because I've stated this multiple times, that this is the product that I wanted. And if they give me the credit, I will pat myself on the back. I'm very good at doing that. But this week, it's not all sunshine and roses for AMD. Unfortunately, Adia is suing AMD for patent infringement over some of their semiconductor technology. And this one gets a little weird, and I will again lead with I am not a lawyer. And in fact, this even goes above my head as far as technical reasoning or anything else. This gets into like intellectual property and industry secrets and things like that. This is going to be something that happens behind closed doors and likely that we will never hear the result of, given what this allegation is. But Adia is suing AMD over their manufacturing methodology for building 3D VCache CPUs. So your 9800X3D and your 9950X3D, the stacking of 3D VCache on top of your CPU apparently may be infringing on some of Adia's intellectual property. I do not know the specifics. This is the article. This is the entire article to go off of.
Yeah, it's like a few paragraphs.
Yeah. So the only quote that's in here, Adia CEO Paul Davis said AMD's use of its technology has greatly contributed to their success as a market leader, and that Adia would be open to a fair and reasonable arrangement that reflects the value of our intellectual property. So it sounds like AMD may have had some dealings with Adia in the past. Adia, you might know because they were the intellectual property licensing unit of TiVo, or TiVo's parent company, Xperi, before Xperi was spun off into its own company. Adia isn't a manufacturer. They're not a silicon manufacturer. They are, how do I put this without libel? Patent troll? That might be putting it too far. So I withdraw that statement. Again, I am not a lawyer.
We're only speaking rhetorically on the basis of
yeah. I'm trying to relate to my audience with nomenclature they may be familiar with. That's the closest thing I could come with. I'm not calling you a patent troll. I want to be very, very clear. They are a company that licenses out technology, but they don't directly manufacture it themselves. Adia said in the complaint that its predecessor Tessera pioneered hybrid bonding and advanced process nodes, both of which were technologies related to semiconductor manufacturing. Which, again, this is going to get deep. This is going to get deeper than I understand. It all depends on how the patent's written. If your patent is literally, we superglue two things together, it's probably going to be thrown out as invalid. If your patent is a step-by-step explanation of the components and the physics involved and the manufacturing difficulties and processes that you have to go through to bond 3D VCache onto a chiplet or CCD substrate, including the exact machines and lithography capabilities required, yeah, they might have something there, but they're playing this very close to the vest. All we know is Adia has sued AMD over this potential patent. We'll have to see. I'm sure Adia is a wonderful company. Last but not least, before we get to some show and tell, Microsoft CEO, Satya Nadella, said in an interview this last week, something that I think all of us knew, but then hearing it out loud gives new meaning to it. Let me just read you the headline. This comes from Tom's Hardware, link in the description. Microsoft CEO says the company doesn't have enough electricity to install all of the AI GPUs currently in their inventory. Did everyone catch that?
They would have thought about when manufacturing these things.
They didn't manufacture them. They bought them from Nvidia.
Well, and I just saw a video too that showed that Nvidia invested X amount of money into Microsoft in order for them to buy these things. Nvidia is just flooding the market with all this shit and then giving people money to buy their products so that they're the only game in town when it comes to AI compute.
Yep. Yeah, you see OpenAI investing $30 billion into Amazon and Nvidia investing $38 billion into OpenAI and then OpenAI investing another $38 billion into Microsoft and then vice versa. No one's actually spending anything.
Yeah.
It's the definition of a bubble. You are leveraging future assets or future revenue, which has not been proven yet, to get more money from the banks, to keep the racket going.
Yeah, and what happens to bubbles? Surely they float off into space and everybody gets to have a good...
They're totally invincible. I believe if you tie a rope to it, it rises the entire economy.
Oh my god, seriously. That's good. Because have you seen the price of eggs?
We could lasso that, hook onto it.
This is great news.
And you know what? Even if it pops, that trickles down, right?
It does. That makes total sense. I've never heard a better analogy. We're gonna be fine, everybody.
It's all gonna be great.
I can't believe that we're gonna be okay. Meanwhile, AI data centers are the #1 cause why consumer electricity bills have gone up in the Pacific Northwest.
Also, yes.
And I don't know if it still holds true, but about 2 years ago, OPB wrote a big old story about how OPB being our, public broadcasting arm in Oregon, uh, about how a record number of Oregonians were facing power disconnects in the face of rising costs.
Yep.
And who's driving our costs up? Is it little old Jeff with his server rack over there in the garage?
Oh yeah, it's totally my fault. My bad, guys.
You with your Chevy Bolt?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, let me add together my Chevy Bolt. I did the calculation for this last week, so I'm a week out of date. But I've owned my Chevy Bolt for 3 months now. It has cost me $58 to charge at home.
Astronomical. So you're the reason I'm going to have to lose power this Christmas. It's all your fault. You and your Chevy Bolt.
Well, normally I would throw this, or I would fully agree with you, except that my electric grid is a co-op, and so I have it's customer owned, which is why my rates stay fairly flat and low. I pay 7.4 cents per kilowatt hour.
So it's your fault that I hate that you have affordable electricity, and
I mean, potentially. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Regardless, I think it's so funny that the CEOs of all of these mega giant corporations are like, well, by the way, we don't have enough electricity. Yeah, you can go online and you can read story after story about how these people keep coming back from China, and they're like, yeah, it's like they're living in the future.
Mm-hmm.
They have enough electricity for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Their trains go fast and are on time. And then our people are like, well, you know what's really good? Coal. You know what else is really good? Meanwhile, like solar, the cost of solar cells has shrunk so dramatically that for the first time ever, it rivals the cost to output ratio of nuclear.
Yeah.
And we're still wondering, like, well, maybe we should roll that back. We shouldn't.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't really care if Sam Altman and Microsoft have enough electricity or not.
Yep. All right. I think it's time for some show and tell.
Let's hear it.
First off, Green sends over $2. Thank you again, Green. Always appreciated. Nintendo game mechanic patents are under review. Yes. They haven't been invalidated, but this is the first step in that. We've talked about the Pokemon Nintendo Pal World thing a couple of times, and the law, again, I am not a lawyer. Good Lord, is this the episode for that? I am not a lawyer. Stop roping me into this crap. In the United States and in most of the Western world, you can copyright and trademark characters, assets, names, worlds, storytelling, that kind of thing. What you cannot copyright or trademark is what we call game mechanics. You cannot copyright riding on a horse. If that is in your game, and another game also has a character ride on a horse, that's not a copyrightable or trademarkable thing. And that extends to all game mechanics, not just like obvious ones.
Tell that to Barbie Horse Adventures, bro.
Right. But that's the rule for the United States. That's the rule for the EU. That is not the rule for Japan. In Japan, you can copyright game mechanics. And seeing as how Nintendo and Game Freak and who's the creator of Power World? I forget. Power World's dev. They are all located in Japan. That's the crux of this issue. And so I'm not even an American lawyer, and I'm certainly not a Japanese lawyer. But I guess it always struck me as odd that the Pokemon Company sued Power World and then started pursuing patents for their games.
Yeah. It shows a really high level of ethical honesty.
Right. Right. As Rev says, I'm more of an expert in bird law. Another man of culture, I see. Appreciate that. But yeah, there is something you can copyright mechanics in Japan's legal system, in their patent system. But whether or not those are enforceable and whether or not other games already exist with those patents are hurdles to that. And I guess Pal World has been bringing up Monster Hunter, and there was another game also that predates Pokemon as basically having the exact same mechanic. And I forget which one they brought up. But they are seeking to invalidate Pokemon's patent on capturing creatures in orbs and sending them out to fight. So there's been some updates there. I'm not overly privy to that. But what I am privy to is this little Blade server right here. Which I've already taken the liberty of putting memory in. Sexy. Yeah. And here I thought X79 was dead. So, if you watched the show last week, you know that I threw out... I've been wanting to, like, streamline my rack. Like, right now I have, I think, 5 servers running in my rack, and 4 of them are for you. So I have 16 you in my rack that are just sitting there, idly doing tasks.
16 me?
16 you. Yeah. So I have 2 file servers and I have 2 virtualization boxes. The 2 file servers are my 45 drives AV15, which I call Craftinator because it has my logo on it because it's great. And then I also have a 45 drives home lab server. That is my backup server or my archive. I then also have 2 virtualization boxes. I have a 64-core Epic Rome 7742, which unfortunately has a turbo clock of like 2.6 gigahertz. It's 64 cores, but it is not fast, especially by like modern standards. It doesn't boost worth a damn. And so it's great for like general purpose. It's not great if you have intensive workloads like, oh, I don't know, cloud gaming services or AI or anything like that. It's not good for any of those. So while it's one of the first, Epic Rome is what I would say is the earliest of modern server technology. It's super power efficient. It does boost to a pretty good measure, but it's also the oldest of modern server technology that we have. I run most of my VMs on that. What are the VMs that I run? Great question. I'm glad you asked. I run things like Pi-hole and Plex and a captive VPN server and a Minecraft server. And for a while I ran a Pal World server and things like this.
Until Nintendo shut you down.
Yeah. Nothing overly intensive. So why do I have 64 cores, 256 gigs of memory, 4 NVMe drives to just sit there? There are people that run these services on Raspberry Pis. and they're fine. I also have an Epic Genoa server. Also 64 cores, and this is where I put my higher performance things, because it's got a 3.6 gigahertz boost on it. Zen 4. This is where I've been doing some of my cloud gaming testing. I've got I think a V100 and an A5000 in there. But it's a server that's very much always in flux. It's never like always on. It's just something that I tinker with from time to time, but it's not something that I like actively use. So I've got these 4 boxes that are drawing like 600, 700 watts in total. Could I like consolidate my servers down to a tiny little Blade server and have some redundancy, but also lower my power bill? Not that my power bill is huge at 7.4 kilowatts, 7.4 cents per kilowatt hour, but it still adds up. So I am working on a complete like rack rebuild, and there was a particular microcloud server from Supermicro that I wanted with the Xeon D1541, which is a Broadwell Intel Atom-based CPU that has a max TDP of 45 watts, but it's 8 core, 16 threads, 2.1 gigahertz base clock, 2.6 gigahertz boost, supports DDR4 ECC memory in quad channel, can scale to insane amounts of performance. It's a pretty good little platform. That box is like $1,500 still, and in fact, that box was no longer available. But I shared on my channel last week that there's an earlier microcloud server that uses this blade. And this blade is a C602 X79 Sandy and Ivy Bridge DDR3. So you all said you wanted to see it, and I said, well, tell you what, if people want to buy some naming rights, I'll buy the server. And you guys did. So I bought the server, and it's here now. I have 8 nodes of C602 Xeon. Ready to go back in my rack.
Nice.
Look, I don't appreciate being bullied, but I also appreciate the enthusiasm. I thought I was done with X79 like 4 years ago. But not only did I buy the 8-node chassis and all 8 blades, I already had a crap ton of DDR3 ECC memory. So this blade has 64 gigs. And I think I have enough to put 64 gigs in all 8 of the nodes. I have enough extra DDR3 laying around still.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
So I have enough to put 512 gigs of DDR3 ECC into that server. If I take my archive server apart, I have 15 6 terabyte SAS drives. By the way, the front of this chassis also has 2 drives per node, so a total of 16 3.5-inch drives spread across it. I could buy another 6 terabyte drive, and I could run a massive 8-node Ceph cluster. And replicate data over to it pretty readily. All of my VMs that I rely on for services, like I already said, could basically run on Raspberry Pi. So of course they're going to run on Ivy Bridge Xeons. I didn't want to go too insane, although I do have some older kind of insane Xeon CPUs. I've got like a 2697 V2, which is a 12 core, 24 thread, 3 gigahertz chip that draws like 150 watts. I'm not going to use that. Instead, I bought I think I bought 4 of each, 2650 V2 and 2650L V2, which are 85 and 65 watt, respectively, CPUs with either 8 or 10 cores, depending on the model. So super low power per blade, 64 gigs per blade, 12 terabytes, or if you stripe them or mirror them together, 6 terabytes per node. Plus they've got a PCI Express slot, which I'm thinking about dropping my 4 Tesla P4s into for either encoding or minor AI work or anything like that. It's going to be a pretty fun box. I'm also going to take my Epic Genoa box and I'm going to put it into an old Supermicro 24-bay chassis, and that's going to become my new NAS server, and also my Top Flight VM server. So I'm going to take 16U worth of server and condense it down into 7. So I'm going to save 11U worth of rack space.
Nice.
Which means I have room for all new servers to go in my rack now.
The real ploy here is exposed.
Someone asked, what's the wife approval factor for your community buying you servers to put in your rack? And I said, as long as they're not 1U, she's cool with it. Jay sends over $5. Thank you so much, Jay. That's what I'm here for. Ambiguous enthusiasm / bullying. Michael says, RAID 0, who needs a backup? Actually, It's funny you mentioned that, because I did consider, I think I'm going to run four nodes of this server as an always-on production cluster. I'm going to install Proxmox. I'm going to cluster them together. I'm going to have 4 nodes. I'm going to have 40 threads on the 2650Ls, 256 gigs of memory, and then encoding cards in each of them so they could all run Plex or Jellyfin or Blue Iris or whatever else. That'll leave me 4 nodes to play with. Hey, I want to spin up this service. I want to try something new. I want to install this thing. I want to toy with this. I'll have 4 nodes for Home Lab. But I think I'm going to take those 6 terabyte drives, of which I'll have 8 of them across the 4 nodes that I plan on running full time, and ceph them together and basically do a shared ceph pool across all the nodes. So I will essentially have, what is that? I'm going to end up with about 16 terabytes of usable space. Because 6 times 8 drives divided by 3 for redundancy is the basic calculation for how Ceph works. I'll have about 16 terabytes spread across all those disks. But fully redundant. You could lose a server, you could lose 3 drives, and you'll still be fine. What's an encoding card? So I have an Nvidia Tesla P4, which is a half-height, low-profile card that is going to be used for H.264, X.265 encoding. So if I have a Plex server or Blue Iris for security cameras or anything like that, it'll handle the video encoding without using the CPU. It's a way more efficient method of video encode.
$2 super chat from Elmo. He says, "You are welcome."
Thank you, Elmo. Green wants to know, can the node handle a 2667 V2? Yes, and I already have a couple of those. You still have the old workstation that I gave you, the attack helicopter one.
Yeah.
At this point, I'd written it off. I don't care. But that also has a pair of 2687 WV2s.
Yeah. Bring that by anytime.
Yeah. If you want to keep the box, that's fine, but I might swap you out a couple of CPUs.
Yeah. You know, it's your machine, so I just never brought it over because you're so far away.
I know. I never asked for it back because it was X79. That was one of my favorite builds, though. Just the way that worked out, especially with the dual CPU, with the single turbine of air cooling going straight through it. God, that's such a good look.
Yep. Yeah, and it served us well for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Old things are new again. Yeah, and
it's fun.
You know, honestly, with, you know, we talked a bit about, you know, things are expensive right now and whatnot, and that includes like discretionary spending, you know, spending things on hobbies and whatnot. I bought these 8 nodes for $400. It's $50 a node. That's less than a Raspberry Pi. This is going to be way more fun than a Raspberry Pi. So that's kind of how I want to frame it is, oh, and by the way, it's 8 or 10 or 12 cores of x86. I don't care what model your Raspberry Pi is. This thing freaking slaps. It draws more power, sure, but it's also less expensive. So this is going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun to put this all together. So most of the month of November is going to be me playing with new things in my rack, or rearranging things in my rack, or playing with things in other people's racks, like my HGX V100 server, which I've also been playing around with this week. Finally got that back up and running. And very much looking forward to both doing some AI workloads as well as some cloud gaming on that box. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah. It's kind of perfect timing to bring back stuff like this, honestly. Like, it feels like the timing is right, you know?
Yeah. Yep. I will say the node purchase wasn't perfect. There's a couple of things that I wasn't happy with. Number one, in the picture, it showed the SFP Plus module with 2 USB ports on it. This one came with dual 1 gig. So instead of having 10 gig networking, I have dual 1 gig networking. I'm less than thrilled about that. These are a mezzanine card, though, and you can swap these out. But now if I want 10 gig, I have to go spend $12 a piece times 8. That adds up pretty quick.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm spending $150 on 10 gig that I didn't think I would have to. So, not thrilled there. But also, there is a PCI Express slot on here, which I do want to add graphics cards to. I want to add a Tesla P4 or an Intel A310 or any other number of cards. It's an X8 slot, but more importantly, it's not an open-ended X8 slot. So I'm going to have to take a utility knife or a hot blade and open the back of that up so I can actually slot in a graphics card. And I'm not thrilled about that. You get a partial refund then. I haven't contacted them yet. I was going to contact them tomorrow and ask them about that because the pictures clearly showed SFP Plus in all the images. So I did not get what was pictured, although they also had like 50 of them. And so might have been luck of the draw, but maybe they'll help me out. Maybe they'll, you know, if they're willing to give me $100 back, then I can go out and I can buy the 10 gig cards and I don't care. But yeah, that was a little disappointing, especially because I'm planning on network hosting most of my storage, and I got 10 times less throughput than I would have. So I'm still going to buy the 10 gig cards, regardless. Yeah. Elmo says 10 gig is the standard on this channel. 10 gig is the standard on everything, which is why even my Mac Mini is going to get a 10 gig PCI Express card, which is why it's on my desk. So,
and he said it with a $50 super chat, by the way.
I didn't even see the $50. Elmo, what do you want to name a second node?
He wants you to have 10 gig.
I will say it appears as though the D1541 Xeons that I really wanted for this project are slot compatible in the same chassis. And so I have a D1541 on the way. Thank you, Vince, a la Circuit Rewind. But if anyone else wants to sponsor some additional nodes, I will sell them naming rights for $120 a piece. So let me verify first before you send over Super Chats, but maybe next week we'll announce, hey, if you want to name a node, if you want to send me over and buy that node, you can name the node when I put it in the box. Yeah, when I go to rebuild my servers, you all will have naming rights over it. So any name that fits in a 15-character NetBIOS name. I do have veto rights over hateful / lewd things. So Jay says, at Elmo, loving this way of directing content on the channel. Speaking of bullying Jeff into buying things on Talking Heads. I kind of like it too. I mean, honestly, while I have like ideas of things that I want, I'm also totally here for things that you guys want to see too. And if you guys want to see an X79 cluster, who am I to deny you?
Who indeed?
Mm-hmm. Good times. Yeah. I'm looking forward to firing this up. I'm hoping it's not like a screamer. It is 3U, but remember the static pressure that's required to get through this much airspace, plus potentially a PCI Express card with fans that are mounted, right about here, is a lot. And so I'm afraid this thing's going to scream like a banshee because, well, my other microcloud server that I tested screamed like a banshee. And so maybe there's a fan swap for this chassis in the future. Maybe there's probably additional content to be had around running this particular chassis in a home lab / production environment. Someone making Jeff spend money? Is it Yocto? Yocto's made me spend plenty of money, although I reciprocate that quite regularly. So, Rev says we've had a special role on the Discord for this exact purpose for ages. Yeah, dating back to 2019, we have had on the server a role that you have to earn called Expensive Idea Shill. I'm the shill, right? I tell you guys to buy things. If you guys tell me to buy something and I end up spending $500, you guys get a role on the server and it's a permanent role that cannot be revoked. Which means you have permanent access to the server. So if you end up making me spend $500, you don't have to subscribe to Patreon anymore.
Hell yeah. All right.
Novella says, just deploy it at ZWS, Jeff. Maybe I'll buy a second one and do full redundancy. That might be fun. Yeah, so many video ideas from just one server. Yeah, a lot of the content over the next couple of months for the end of the year is going to be literally just me rebuilding these two servers. So I'm going to take the Genoa box that I have right now and all of my hard drives and condense them into a single box. Virtualize TrueNAS, plus use that as a high performance VM machine for like game testing and things like that. But then I've also got this super low power, low speed X79 8-node cluster that I can turn into anything that I want. And potentially upgrade along the way and make it actually maybe palatable at the price point that it's at. I mean, It was only like 3 or 4 years ago that we all went nuts for a $130 1U X79 based single CPU box in the Hive Zeus servers. The little half-depth blue jobs that I did an entire cluster video about, and a lot of people still run as virtualization boxes. Man, those are down to $50 and you get 8 of them for 400 now. Like, is that not a good deal? Seems like a good deal to me. The microcloud will be silent, just like the BC250 was silent, right? Yeah. Oh, by the way, part of this is not because, like, I don't think it's good hardware, just because I don't think it meets my deployment needs right now, because I want to free up a lot of space in my rack and lower my overall energy consumption. I'm going to be putting the AV15 and the HL15 in the rack behind me with the Beerinator. And so those are going to be on camera from now on.
Nice.
So they'll be all right behind me. Skull says, waiting for the even bigger expensive idea shill roll someday. Yeah, I don't know what the like, we've had a very loose interpretation of, like, you make me spend $500, you get the expensive idea shill. And what are there, 5 of them now? I think there's 5. And what's funny is they've all earned it in different ways, because the original expensive idea shill was a guy named AJP. And he didn't do it in one purchase. He nickel and dimed me to $500. He's the reason we went on the cloud gaming server journey. Because he went, hey, Newegg has this Tesla K10 and it's only $40. Could you do something with that? And I went, well, for $40, I might as well try. And so I bought one. And then I went, can I game on it? And the answer was no. And then I went, what if I really tried to game on it? And the answer was maybe. And I went, well, what if I got the gaming to work, but I needed a server to put him in? And AJP sent over a Dell 2U server, and he goes, oh, they'd probably fit in this, and it already has the PCI Express leads. And that was like $300. And I went, you know what? That's $300. I could spend $300 on a server if it leads to, like, a really fun video. And I got the server in, and then I killed the server. And then I bought another one. And then he ended up sending me like 2 or 3 more things that I needed to buy, on top of me buying like 3 Tesla K10s, as well as a Grid K2, as well as a K20, as well as a Grid K340, and a couple of other, like, graphics cards that he sent over the years. So he didn't do like a single $500 purchase. He did like $30, $40 purchases. And then there's Yakto, who makes me spend like $3,000 in one swoop. But then he rewards me with nice things like a Mac Mini, which I'm streaming on right now. So,
what a nice boy, that Yakto.
Yeah. I should really reward him with another HGX V100 in his colo. I'm sure he would love that. All right, Rett, anything else before we did we cover all the news? I think we covered all the news.
Covered all the news.
Nice. Look at us.
Before we sign off to all 115 of you guys watching,
look at us.
Who would have thought? Not me.
Not me.
Before we sign off, I promised my buddy that I would give a shout out. He finished his first game. He's over at Midnight Spire Games, solo devved a classic dungeon crawl RPG.
Nice.
Like, in the vein of Wizardry. If you remember that series of games. I think there was also like an old Dungeons and Dragons game, like Golden something. Anyway, doesn't matter. But the point is, is it's called Minerva Labyrinth. You can find it on Steam or itch.io. And if you're into that style of game, I launched it this morning just to test it out, and I ended up like literally losing 2 hours of my life because it was so fun and the lore's a vibe. So go check it out, Minerva Labyrinth. It's on Steam and itch.io. In fact, I'll just put a link right here in chat. I can do that because I'm a mod. The other fun thing that happened today, November 5th, remember the 5th of November, is also my band, the Marionberries, dropped another EP. This one was recorded live in our bass player's living room, and it's called The Other Tapes. Go check it out. Yes, the gold box. Thank you, Rev. Now look at this. It doesn't look like much, but you start playing the game, and the combat is tactical. It's actually pretty deep. There's really good assortment of classes and abilities you can build your party from, just like the classic CRPGs. I had a lot of fun with it, so go check it out.
Honestly,
and it has a free demo. Thank you, Skull.
Honestly, I love the art design to this. I'm already digging this. I am a huge fan of your classic dungeon crawler RPG. Yes. This is very reminiscent of literally like the first Elder Scrolls as far because that's kind of, but that was live action. But remember, most RPGs scrolled out of turn-based combat, and even some of the first DOS-based D&D style games were turn-based like this.
Yeah.
This is like a D&D Final Fantasy DOS 8-bit hybrid. I love it.
It is. It's fun. The lore is a vibe, and like when you're looking there at like the exploration of the dungeon, it doesn't look like much until you start playing it. And when you get a feel for how you can maneuver and what it looks like, it actually is really seamless. The exploration is really fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of thinking puzzles. The combat is way more tactical than you think it is, just based on that. Mm-hmm. Again, go check it out. I put the link up there in the video description. And like Skull said, there's a demo. So I think it'd be really cool. This person, spent a lot of time making everything by themselves. The music, the art, programming. Yeah. And then, like I said, my band dropped an EP, so go check that out. It's on Spotify. It's just a fun little thing we slapped together at the end of the summer. And yeah, that's it for me. November 5th, nice. A couple of fun things coming out all at once. So
yeah, I dig it.
Boom.
Dig it a lot. That's going to do it for episode 407 here on Talking Heads. Join us every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time for the latest in beer and tech news right here on YouTube. Next week, I'm not sure exactly what the plan is, but I will likely be broadcasting live from Yocto's Humble Home Lab.
Ooh, fun.
I'm not sure who the co-host is yet. I think Tom is on the schedule, but I don't know how or if that's going to work. It might be Yocto. It might be like a number of different people. We'll have to see. It might be a solo with like multiple random guests. Maybe a Circuit Rewind, maybe a Yocto himself, maybe a Zeus, maybe a whole lot of other add-ins. But we'll get a little bit of a look at Yocto's Humble Home Lab. We'll drink some beer. I will be bartending from the event. So any friends of Yocto going to PDX LAN, I'm going to be spinning up some cocktails that Wednesday night as well. So yeah, next Wednesday is a little bit in flux, but we will absolutely be broadcasting. So
sounds fun.
Yeah.
Can only catch it here.
Yeah, make sure to tune in. Join us every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Latest in beer and tech news. Subscribe to the channel. Drop us a like. Do all those YouTube engagement things. Leave us a comment if you're watching on the VOD. That also helps out. And as always, I think we'll see you next week.
Boom.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers. And I'm not going to do it this week. Just not gonna.
Really? You're totally gonna. You're doing it right now. You're